Are you thinking of moving to South Carolina from Texas? If you are, you may be wondering what you can expect. In this video, I cover cost of living, climate, population, family life, schools, infrastructure, the food, the people, and much more. So let's dive into it right now. My friend Vanessa has lived in both of these popular states. She moved to South Carolina from Texas and gave me all of the ins and outs. At the end of this video, I will reveal what state is my friend's favorite. So first things first, let's talk about the cost of living. Both states are known for having lower cost of living than the national average. However, on average, Texas' cost of living is 5% lower than South Carolina's. This came as a surprise to my friend because one of the reasons she moved from a large metroplex in Texas to South Carolina was because the housing costs were much lower. While housing costs fluctuate year by year, they can also vary from city to city within each state. My next point is the taxes. As far as property taxes go, Texas does not have a state property tax. So property tax rates depend on local taxing units. So Texas property taxes vary depending on where you live. Now, South Carolina does have a state property tax with a rate of 0.56%, which is one of the lowest rates in the country. This is why I love South Carolina. Where Vanessa was located in Texas, she paid well over $300 a month in property taxes. Now here in South Carolina, she is paying less than $100 per month. However, Texas has some tax breaks of its own. For example, it has no vehicle tax. When Vanessa moved to South Carolina, she was surprised to find out that South Carolina has a yearly vehicle tax. Now, if you want to know how much you will be paying for property taxes on your vehicle, make sure to click the link on the description. I have two links, one for Richland and one for Lexington County. Gasoline and utilities. Gasoline prices are always fluctuating, but gas prices in South Carolina have continued to be slightly higher than gas prices in Texas. Another important thing to consider when moving is what you will pay for utilities. On average, utilities in Texas cost almost $400 a month, while utilities in South Carolina cost about $180 per month. Now let's talk about the climate. While both states have long, hot summers, the summers are hotter in Texas with the temperatures hovering between 85 and 90 degrees during the day and topping out over 100 degrees for many days. Vanessa said it can get as high as 107 degrees with an even higher heat index, whereas the daily average high temperatures in South Carolina are 87 to 91 degrees. South Carolina doesn't typically have triple digits in the summer like Texas does, although it happens sometimes. Although South Carolina's capital city of Columbia is called famously hot, my friend Vanessa says Texas is hotter. However, South Carolina has a higher humidity index, which can make temperatures feel hotter than they actually are. South Carolina ranks 32 out of all the states in the US for relative humidity, while Texas ranks 40. So Texas is drier overall, although areas along the Texas coast are also very humid in the warmer months. Do hotter summers in Texas mean milder winters in Texas? Not necessarily. Both states have short, mild winters, but Texas winters, especially North Texas, can be unpredictable and quite cold. Remember Winter Storm Uri in 2021? Degrees reached down to -2 in some parts of Texas. Winter temperatures vary in Texas depending on location because of the size of the state. So winters in North Texas can get much colder than winters in South Texas. Winter temperatures across South Carolina average between 47 and 52 degrees. So as you can probably guess, neither state sees much snow. This year we had a bit of a colder winter with temperatures going down to 25 degrees, but this is the exception, not the rule. The economy. Both states have relatively good economies, but Texas' economy is significantly better and ranks number 9 in the nation, while South Carolina ranks number 18 in the US. Agriculture is at the heart of both states' economies, but Texas also depends on its oil production and aerospace industry, while South Carolina also depends on tourism to attractions like Myrtle Beach and Charleston, as well as manufacturing. According to the US Census Bureau, the median household income in Texas in 2021 was about $9,000 more than that of South Carolina. Texas median income was $67,300, and South Carolina's median income in 2021 was $58,200. Population and growth. People are moving to both states in droves because of their lower cost of living, warmer climates, and stable economies. Just last year, Texas was named the fastest growth state in the nation with a population of over 30 million and counting. South Carolina was the third fastest growing state last year, but with a much lower population of over 5 million. Texas is much larger in size, so it has room for more people. It is so big that 15 of the smallest US states could fit into it. My next point is infrastructure. You may have heard the saying, everything is bigger in Texas. Vanessa says this is true. Not only the size of the state, but the cities, buildings, land plots, roadways, and more. Everything just feels roomier. Cities are more spread out and less dense. Exits are even further apart, which brings me to the topic of infrastructure and traffic. Because Texas has larger cities with much bigger populations, there is much more traffic. Vanessa said that anytime she travels to Texas, there are always highways being built or expanded, which can cause traffic to be backed up until construction is complete. No one likes driving in traffic in the bigger cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, Metroplex, Houston area, or in Austin. On the flip side, South Carolina's traffic isn't nearly as congested, but because of so many people moving into this state, there is a plan now to expand Interstate 26. My next point is family life. So which state is better for family life? Vanessa has 2 children, so it is important to her to live in a place with good schools, plenty of family-friendly things to do, and a high quality of life. So how does each state rate in these areas? When it comes to education, South Carolina falls a bit behind Texas, ranking 42nd in the nation with Texas 32nd. However, these lower national rankings based on test scores don't mean you can't find excellent schools in each state. So let's dive into the school system. The quality of schools really depends on the city or area you live in, and even the school district you are in. For example, when Vanessa lived in Texas, her kids attended public school in a Fort Worth suburb which had a B district grade, which was really good for that area. However, now she lives in a suburb in Columbia, South Carolina, and her kids go to a district with an A grade. In fact, it is ranked as the second best school district in the state by niche.com. Vanessa said the district in South Carolina has much more to offer and has the best schools with the best programs, resources, and teachers that she has ever witnessed. One major difference in school district is that Texas school districts are called ISDs, which stands for Independent School Districts. They are independent by city or location, whereas South Carolina districts receive funding and legislation from the county. Because of this, it seems there is much more of a discrepancy among Texas school districts and the resources they offer. Family fun! Now let's get to the fun stuff. What does each state have to offer for family activities and fun things to do? Remember how everything is bigger in Texas? That includes the state fair, the zoos, and the amusement parks. They are all much bigger, but Vanessa says bigger doesn't necessarily mean better. Her family enjoys the state fair, zoo, and most family attractions in South Carolina even more, and says they are more kid-friendly. However, she said the Texas amusement parks are more fun, like Six Flags Over Texas and Hurricane Harbor. But South Carolina has more natural beauty with many rivers, lots of beautiful state and community parks, which means if you like being outdoors, there are more things to do. Here you can do things like hiking, kayaking, rafting, camping, and pinicking. Although Texas also offers many campgrounds, it just doesn't seem as outdoorsy. The people here in South Carolina love to be outdoors, and often the milder sunny weather and natural beauty contributes to this. Also, no matter where you are in South Carolina, you are most likely not too far from the mountains or the beach. As far as family-friendly activities in the community, it depends on your specific location within the state. For instance, outside the Columbia area, she gives her community an A+ for family activities like classes, lessons, festivals, family events, and clubs. There are also many entertainment venues such as Flight Adventure Park with indoor trampolines, obstacle courses, and ice skating year-round. Her community also has family fun parks, roller skating rinks, bowling alleys, game shops that have gaming events, many arcades, movie theaters, and splash parks in the summertime. Now, if you want to know what kind of fun activities you can do in Columbia and surrounding areas where I mentioned a lot of the splash pads, make sure to watch this video. South Carolina's capital city of Columbia is fantastic for families. Downtown offers adventure, an interactive, hands-on children's museum that has many programs for kids throughout the year. Downtown also has the South Carolina State Museum, the award-winning Riverbank Zoo and Gardens, the Coger Center for the Arts, the Columbia Museum of Art, the South Carolina State House, and other historical sites that have tours and children's programs. It also hosts the annual State Fair. Charleston, South Carolina is one of the nation's leading tourist attractions and is known for its rich history, architecture, and beautiful beaches. It also has family-friendly venues such as South Carolina Aquarium and many museums. Any of the large cities in Texas are sure to have many fun things to do as well. In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, where Vanessa is from, sports fans will appreciate the Dallas Cowboys, Dallas Mavericks, Texas Rangers, and Dallas Stars games. Dallas hosts the State Fair of Texas each year and has more of a big city feel. It also offers the AT&T Performing Arts Center, Majestic Theater, indoor skydiving, Dallas Zoo, and the Dallas World Aquarium, to name a few. Fort Worth, which is smaller than Dallas but is still a large city, is also known as Cowtown. It is known for its Western history and historic district, which includes the Stockyards District and annual Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo. Fort Worth also has many museums, large parks like the Fort Worth Botanical Garden, Fort Worth Water Gardens, concert halls. It also has the Will Rogers Memorial Center, which hosts many Western theme and livestock events. So if you want to find real cowboys, you will likely find them in Fort Worth. Now the part we all have been waiting for, the food. Although much of the cuisine in these states is similar, there are a few differences. Vanessa grew up in Texas but had never heard of grits until she moved to South Carolina. You will find grits on the menu at many South Carolina restaurants. Another cuisine that was new to her was low country boil and oyster roasts, which are popular in the Deep South. And let us not forget about the tomato sandwich. Also new to her were gizzards, which is the chicken stomach, collard greens, pork barbecue, and barbecue with a yellow mustard-based sauce. This is all southern fare that is popular in the Palmetto State, along with all types of seafood. Mexican food in Texas, called Tex-Mex, is very popular. Vanessa didn't think she would find good Mexican food in South Carolina, so she was surprised to find many good Mexican restaurants here that are just as good or even better than some of the Tex-Mex restaurants in Texas. Although both states have many of the same chain restaurants, there are some chains that these states don't share. For example, South Carolina has Freddy's, Lizard's Thicket, Bojangles, Five Guys Burger, Rush's, Cestos, and San Jose. Texas has In-N-Out Burgers, Chicken Express, Brom's, Uncle Julius, Mexican Inn, and Cotton Patch Cafe. And unlike South Carolina's pork barbecue with mustard-based sauce, Cattle Country has, you guessed it, beef barbecue with a red tomato-based sauce. Texas barbecue is very popular and can be found anywhere in the state. Both states have a lot of different but excellent restaurants to choose from, and both states love their barbecue, sweet iced tea, mashed potatoes with gravy, and chicken fried steak. The people. Each state has its own unique vibe. In both states, you are sure to find warm, friendly, and down-to-earth people. Both states have strong, generally conservative values. Many places in Texas offer a sense of community, and Texans really care for and take pride in their communities. But South Carolinians are generally very hospitable, neighborly, and live at a slower, easier pace of life. So which state is Vanessa's favorite? Drum roll, please! Texas will always have deep roots and be in her heart because it's her home state. But she chose to reside for the long term in the Palmetto State. So what is the draw for her here? Lower housing cost, natural beauty, family friendliness, and a more moderate climate with the four seasons. I am not surprised at all. I lived in New York and Atlanta for a few years, and South Carolina is by far my favorite state. So now that you know the difference between Texas and South Carolina, if you wish to move here, make sure to watch this video where I talk about the top 10 reasons why you really should. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and I'll see you next week.